Welcome to CATtheMinion Patreon. My name is Theresa, but you can call me Cat. This is going to be the September deep dive reading for Capricorn. Now, today is the first day that it's been like below 75 and humid since like mid-May here. It's 60 degrees and it was like 90 and sticky here the other day, and it's a welcome relief to be able to have the window open with air and to not have to listen to the constant chugging of the air conditioner unit. It'd be convenient to have a fan to move the air around, but my regular fan broke and I haven't had a chance to get a new one yet. But anyway, at least I don't have to listen to that and try to talk over it and have that constant noise in the background. The reading that I'm doing is based on my life purpose reading. It's one that I offer as an individual reading and is $101. There's an expanded version with 9 additional cards for a focus question. That's $111. Now, this one differs from that because I'm not using any... I'm removing the 6 oracle cards from the top and bottom and using the charms instead, but I'm still doing the body of the reading. So we're going to be looking at past, present, and potential future aspects of your life purpose overview, work, and relationships. But don't let that trip you up because it's basically who you are, what you're doing, and how you do it. There's a loud thing going by, hang on. With the Doppler effect there. I took some cold medicine and I don't think it's kicked in all the way yet. I'm gonna have to take a mucus tab too because this is ridiculous. Where the hell was I going? Oh, okay. So the idea that this has to do with life purpose is it doesn't mean that the reading coming through is the be-all end-all of your entire life purpose. It means whatever has to do with your journey in particular that's going to be coming up for review and work and like to shift your point of view on to help you figure it out more during the month of September. So when like stuff coming out in the life purpose, it might not be your ultimate goal for your lifetime, but it might just be one of the aspects that's critical to moving towards that goal, right? It's like if you're going to be a doctor, your life purpose overview might show, you know, nursing or med school or, you know, phlebotomy, but it might not show the whole scope of it because it's only the part that's being focused on. So don't let that get to you either. So I'm using the Boxo charms here in the handy box that I got that matches my charms, which I've cleared and shaken these, and I've cleared and shuffled the decks. So for the past, we're using the Syrian Starseed Tarot. For the present, I'm using the Uno deck. I have never seen another deck with this font. This one's circa 1987. I'm amazed that they still work at all. You can see there's aged to a fine cream color there. Or not very fine, it's kind of a dirty cream color. Like someone left their glass of milk on the windowsill for a month. And then the future, we're using this Cairo Marchetti Legacy of the Divine Tarot. My throat is messed up. So I'm going to lay out these cards on camera. I don't always do that on my main body of my tarot channel because it takes a long time to combine the segments from my camera because I don't have an ideal setup. But I have stuff that works, so I can't really justify replacing it until I have some more funds coming in. So the whole point is that because Patreon is a paid contribution, I will take the time to lay out the cards on camera as I would do if you got a personal reading. Okay. Ugh. Okay. Oh, additionally, when I was... A lot of the time when I shake up the charms and flip them around when I'm clearing them, one of them will sneak out the side of the box, and what did I get? Oh, it was the eyeball. Last couple of times it's been around when I got the no symbol yesterday when I was doing, I think, Sagittarius, and it fell off the table directly into my bag of waste paper from the last batch of chapbook packs I was working on. I was like, are you kidding me? I had to dump out the whole thing and dig out the one freaking little charm. So this time it was like the same exact size, face down, but it was the eyeball. So it either has to do with the third eye, or looking at something more closely, or like waking up to something that needs to be seen, something that needs to be looked at. So that might come back up in the reading. Alright. Last time, instead of forgetting to put charms out partway through the sections, I shook charms all over the reading, and I felt like it moved more smoothly. So I'm going to get these cards laid out, and then I'll run it the other way. Oh, okay. Okay, so this one and these two. This was challenge position. This is the future of relationships over there. And this will be the present. I'll check the focus and see if I can get the camera closer. I had wider cards at one point. This is a double. That goes in the middle. This one. And then, of course, the Syrian Starseed cards are also quite large. I think these are the biggest cards that I have. I think the cloth deck is a little bit smaller. Challenge position. Okay. Somebody's thundering up the stairs like fucking Frankenstein's monster. Stick it all the way under the sewing machine. Okay. So then the other section here is work. And again, this is what you're doing. It's not necessarily your job that you work at to pay the bills. It's like, what do you do? How do you go about your business? Like, what motivates you? It might, I think that was this way. It goes, it could be your hobbies or something like that. It could be, what kind of, that's the wrong pile. It could be what kind of spiritual elements are you working on. So this is potential future again. Sometimes I like cards better that are ambiguous on the back, so I can't tell whether they're up or down. Like these ones are symmetrical. Although it doesn't always mean something bad when they're inverted. Sometimes you want it to be inverted depending on the energies. And then other times it's sort of, you can't always get what you want. But if you try sometimes, use my phone. You get what you need. Oh yeah. Last one I did, I got a triple, and I really don't want triples. It's bad enough to have doubles in the slots. Okay, so there's two. This is the future of the overall. I like this legacy deck because they are very smooth to shuffle, although sometimes they come flying out of there depending on the mood. Legacy deck. I might need the Uno deck because if I get a knight that doesn't have a suit with it, I'm gonna have to get another card. It's another double. Is it Parcheesi that you get doubles, you roll again? And then the past of... that goes this way too. Past of the overview. Quite a few cards in the challenge position here. Okay, I guess that one goes sideways too. I'm getting the impression that this is the letter E. Oh, I'm just getting E equals MC squared. It's like the preservation of energy, or the constant of energy. Whatever. That might be relevant. We'll see. We shall see. Oh, and the charms. And then I gotta check the alignment and focus. Oh, and the eye could also be focus as well. Take a closer look. Take a look in a book. Something, something, reading rainbow. I get stuck in the fucking panels. Interestingly enough, the one that was stuck right here was the third eye. Specifically, not just the eyeball. They're coming out now. Giving them a chance to go over here, and they're not really wanting to go over there. Oh, there it went. Put this back on and see if anyone else comes out. Seasoning. Okay, that's it. Okay. So way off on the edge here, before the reading, I have the shield. So there's some aspect of motorcycles. There's an aspect here that has to do with protection or enforcement. Another one. I love how the first time I don't have to worry about the air conditioner. There's all kinds of loud ass fucking assholes driving by. The so we have the shield. Now it could also, instead of just being involved with like enforcement and protection, it could also do with like a family crest, a family shield, like a heraldry kind of thing. Now, way off over here is the compass. Right? Focus and alignment. It's like I'm trying to protect the direction that I need to head in. Like I'm trying to protect my own path in life. Okay. Oh, and I didn't even mention this, so I forgot. This is the Capricorn reading isn't just it's Capricorn Sun, Moon, Ascendant, Venus. If you're feeling the intensity of Saturn retrograde, that could very well play into this. So if there's any reason in particular that you're feeling this Capricornian, Saturnian energy, this is the reading for you to poop on. Okay. I don't know why I put that. I'm gonna put it over here where it's fucking stable. Put it on top of Noah's Ark. Okay, so in the past, in terms of your overall life purpose, my fellow Capricorns. Alright, so we have, I think I know what this is. We have a charm that's going the other way, but let's see what our challenge position card is here. Of course, it's the higher self, protecting your alignment, right? So this is number 2. This is in place of the High Priestess here. Right? I'm trying to be aligned. I'm trying to hook up the radio tower. Trying to tune into the station. And look at this. We have these profiles going here on the side as well. Is that... Oh, I forgot to check the focus. Dang it. Is everybody on here? This is what happens when you do tarot. When you're burnt out from emergencies for like 4 days. Okay. Check the focus again. I swear to God. Okay. That's probably as good as it's looking to get. Is that alright? That looks pretty good. Okay. So notice that we come in with number 2, this duality number as well. Me and my higher self, me and my shadow as well. Ooh. Ooh, I haven't said that before. That was almost as exciting when I said that Virgo was the inner child of the Empress. Me and my shadow. Like Peter Pan. You know, Peter Pan, his shadow has it's like in those cartoons where the shadow goes off and does whatever the hell it wants to, and the person's trying to keep it attached to his feet. Or her feet, whatever. So we have the headphones. Now the way that I drew these headphones, you can see the right side from the outside. And is everyone driving all over the fucking place right now? Now, it doesn't have to necessarily mean right. It can mean anything. You could be thinking of something that begins with the letter R. It could be one of the letters in your name. It could be a significant letter in something that happened to you. Like, if you're encountering a problem that's preventing you from your higher self, it could have happened in, like, a place called Richmond, or, you know, at an art gallery or something like that. But the idea here is that to be able to connect it to your higher self, you have to be able to hear. And the headphones is more of a hearing of something like in your head, right? I'm listening to the sounds in my head. I'm not looking around me as much. And then we have this cord coming off of the left side there, indicating that there's an attachment. You have to be attached to the source of the sound. Interesting. And kind of on the border here between the past and the present is the boombox, further accentuating that sound. It's like the signal's getting louder because we've put the antenna on it, the sword, right? But it's sort of like this idea that the truth is always going to win, because at some point there'll be this idea that the reality of the situation will become deafening in order to get you to pay attention. Now I also have a pigeon here, which I like to refer to as trash chicken if I remember to say it correctly. But we think of carrier pigeon, right? It also brings a message. It could also be the dove of peace as well. So then we have transition. So we're going in search of the higher self, or the me and my shadow aspect, and in getting in touch with that, we have this transition. This is normally death. So we're dealing over here with Cancer, but I usually also associate the High Priestess with Pisces. That's just how it works for me. And we have Neptune retrograde right now. And I could see this as pertaining to the time in the past where Neptune turned from regular to retrograde. And this death here, transition, we can see this portal, but it's giving me an impression of going within. It's sort of like turning yourself inside out. So we have 13 and 2 here. We have 15 total so far, which is the devil, which is Capricorn. So we're possibly showing up in the own reading as trying to go through some transformation in order to have greater access to the higher self, right? I'm putting in a new transformer because the circuit blew and my fucking radio didn't work. I'm putting new batteries in this thing. I'm getting a new cord. The outlet wasn't grounded and I have to put a new cord on the boombox now and get my wiring fixed. I'm transforming something. I'm transitioning to a better system that works. Speaking of transitioning, on this third card here, going the other way, I have this mermaid card. Or I mean, a mermaid charm. I tried to draw this sort of ambiguously so it could be a merman as well, figuring that mermen as well as mermaids would have long hair. So it's a mer person, whatever gender or not gender you identify with. We have something that's sort of in between both worlds, right? And then if you think about the whole story of Ariel, or just The Little Mermaid before Disney made it, this idea of wanting to transition to a different place, right? In the original story, the mermaid wanted to have a soul. And there was also this idea of like elitism, but I think I had seen some video where Hans Christian Andersen was sort of not welcome in the society that he lived in. I think he was born poor and worked his way up, and he never felt like he quite fit in. It was sort of this like imposter syndrome. But here we have somebody who is at home in their environment but could connect with something else. But also the mermaid in and of itself. I don't think I have a goat. Why don't I have a goat? I have a list going of charms that I need to make. I should make a goat. I need a snowflake, I need an actual bat, and I need a goat. I have a llama, but I don't have a goat. Okay, where was I? Oh, the mermaid. Okay, so the mermaid to me also gives me an idea of Capricorn because it's the fishtail. And I get really angry when I see Capricorn where it's only a goat. It's a goat with a fucking fishtail. Do it right. Okay. So the card here, 5 of Flames, also in the challenge position. 5 of Flames. Okay. So I have 7 in challenge total, which is the Chariot. So we have this idea that things are moving, right? If they were upside down, it wouldn't be moving as much as something that's turned. Getting turned. Oh, she's laying around there, her tail burnt. So this is scorpionic energy, and then here we have Cancer, but also Pisces in my mind, Neptune and the Moon, Scorpio, and Pluto. And then the 5 of Flames, what else, of course, but Saturn in Leo. Okay. So it's telling me sun sign Capricorn with the fucking mermaid right on it. We're trying to get over a place where we're in conflict with ourselves, right? I'm in conflict if I'm in water, but I want to be on land. I'm in conflict if my shadow is running off over here and I need to be over there. I'm in conflict if my ego is suppressing my true self. I'm in conflict if my inner child isn't getting its needs met and I'm not grounded and I'm not receiving any messages. And the truth is over there in a pile getting rusted. But I see here 18... No, wait. Why did I say 18? Okay, this is 18. This is the moon here. But then if we add this back, we get 20, which is judgment, which has to do with resolving karma as well as sort of being able to complete a phase and level up, right? It's like, okay, I'm in a math book, like algebra, but I'm going to finish this, hit judgment, and then when I come back to school next semester, I'm going to be doing trigonometry or pre-calc. You know, it's like I was in reading block and I had book level 2, but when I hit judgment, now I'm going to get the next textbook that's level 3. Or if I really worked on myself in transition, I'm going to go up to level 4. Like, ooh. Or even more appropriate because 13 breaks down to 4. 4 and 5 is 9. 911, emergency. And then we hit 11, which is that universal timing number. Why is the battery dead already? Are you kidding me? Well, I'm going to try to go until it stops because I have 7 minutes left on this segment. Did I say energy? I said grounding. I'm probably sucking the energy out of the battery, which can happen. So this has to do with the past of the overall life purpose as we're trying to get out of this inner conflict, trying to ascend to a place where we can be more in line with our higher self and be able to get these universal downloads instead of sort of flailing around Like, what am I supposed to do? You know, it's like I've collected all these human artifacts, but they're just sitting here in my cave and I don't really know what to do with them. I don't even know what this fork is really for. You know? It's like if you listen to your higher self instead of some fat fucking seagull over here. I don't actually have a seagull, but, you know, close enough. Seagull is like the beach version of the trash chicken. You know, if you listen to somebody who doesn't know their ass from their elbow, your information isn't going to be good anyway. So in order to really figure out what's going on, you need to have this ability to get the downloads from your soul itself, which is that core, which is that Leo energy here. And notice that we have this 5 number here, which is a pivot. We're starting to change. We're getting this metamorphosis beginning, and then the full transition is like, okay, I'm like in the, like, I just heard in the darkest depths of Mordor. Led Zeppelin. I saw a girl so fair. Gollum, the evil one, slipped up and crept away with her. Interesting. But again, there's this idea of transformation, transition, right? Because Smeagol was transformed by the ego into Gollum. But here we're doing something different. We're trying to it's not really overcoming the shadow, it's sort of becoming aware of it and understanding your own darkness, that going deep into the ground, deep into the water, deep into your own core in order to gain this alignment here, this protection of your own alignment. So this is in the past, right? We're still working on it. We're trying to figure out how to do it. So in the present here, I can see already that that's the halo going the other way. And not only is there the headphones and the boombox, but I see the microphone right here. If I could talk. Okay, so here's a knight. So I do need to get another card. But right next to it going the other way is this white flag. It's like, I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to stop going towards my purpose, right? My shields are up. I'm not going to give in to whatever is trying to bring me down. Don't bring me down. Don't bring me down. It's the Dana Fuchs version. For the first time. Okay, so we have the Ace of fucking Pentacles and the Six of Swords here to clarify this knight. So this knight is coming in essentially with the Tower. Right, not only am I not giving up, but I'm going to sail away from the bullshit and manifest something new. And I'm getting the idea, because normally when I get a card to clarify the knights for the Uno deck, I get one card and it's very clear, but here I'm almost sensing that it's like the Knight of Wands. Or it could be the Knight of Swords. But I feel like this Ace of Pentacles is in here just in terms of indicating some kind of manifestation. Like the power to manifest change in your life has to do with how much you're willing to... Six of Swords, Mercury, and Aquarius. Right? Communicate with yourself, and also indicative of the Uranus retrograde that's happening right now, because this is the present. Okay? So you have this knight here that's straddling the border between those two things. Okay, so I'm going to change segments and batteries and come back and finish this present section. Okay, so also in the present, I just heard also in the faces of the people going by. Okay, so that's Israel. I don't think I'm going to pronounce his last name right. It's like Kama-Ko-O-Ole or something. That Hawaiian guy. One of these days I'm going to learn how to pronounce his last name correctly. But in my music deck, the Four of Wands is his mashup that he sang of Somewhere Over the Rainbow. And what the hell is that Satchmo song called? What a Wonderful World. Okay. Goddamn. Oh. Are you kidding me? I can tell what this is. I'll get to that in a second. 69. And they're both inverted, so it's still giving me 69. So we have 9 of Swords inverted with the 6 of Cups inverted. And I know that 6 of Cups is in this reading because I saw it come out. It might be here. But this 9 of Swords inverted, that nightmare being overturned, looks an awful lot like this 6 of Swords up here, which is that sailing away from the bullshit. This is, we're not going to romanticize the past anymore. Okay, so we've got Sun in Scorpio, right next to Scorpionic energy. The Sun in Scorpio. But because it's inverted, it's telling me Moon energy, right? So the Chariot, and then the higher self, also Moon, and then the Moon, and then the Sun inverted, also Moon, but the Sun here as well. Sort of sunset, sunrise energy here. 9 of Swords. Mars in Gemini. Okay. So we have some more fire energy. Mars is something that's, the energy is sort of fixed to a certain spot, but it's trying to spread out like vines. And Gemini energy tells me that there's a duality, right, with this 6-9 of, and then the higher self duality as well. And then the duality of 2 suits coming out for this night. I have 2 suits of armor. I am doubly prepared for this job. Right? I'm gonna... It's like, in Monty Python in the Holy Grail, when they meet the killer rabbit. I don't have a rabbit either. I need a bunny. That rabbit's dynamite. I think, ooh, you know what I did once? I bought a stuffed rabbit for a friend of mine, and I used red Sharpie and painted its mouth red and gave it to her, and it was hilarious. In that scene where they, spoiler alert if you haven't seen Monty Python in the Holy Grail, it's been out for like 50 years. Almost. So in the scene where they're up on the rocks with Tim the Enchanter, and they see the rabbit go and like kill the first 3 guys they send in there, and Sir Robin is like freaking out, and then they're like, oh, shut up and go and change your armor, indicating that he had more armor to change into. So here it's like he's got 2 suits. I just thought that was funny. Okay, 9 and 6 is 15. That's devil energy again. Either way you put it. But we're ending the nightmare, and we're no longer romanticizing the past. We're not dwelling on it. We're understanding that where the inner child is trapped between the sort of innocence of childhood, where it's like, oh, things are easier. I remember the when I had enjoyed doing such a thing, I was more innocent. But also this nightmare of any trauma that might have happened, right? So we're dealing with this shadow work, me and my shadow, right? The shadow a little bit more immature, maybe. And trying to transition and heal and allow this inner child to feel nurtured and protected. With the Mars, and what the hell was the other one? The Sun and Mercury and Aquarius. Okay. Now over here, going the other way, I have the podium. So again, we have this idea of speaking, like music listening, hearing, communication, messages. And also going the other way, I have this keynote speaker, okay? And then to top it all off, if I could pick it up because my thumbnail is busted and it hurts. I ripped it yesterday picking up stuff from my car getting fixed. So we have the microphone. A keynote speaker with their own microphone. Ready to... I just heard Swan Song. Ready to speak up, right? This is bullshit. I'm not doing this. Okay. I'm going to... the keynote speaker is sort of like the linchpin to the whole thing. Like, who's the most important person speaking at this event of you transitioning? Well, probably your higher self. But you should also listen to your inner child, right? I'm going to listen to my inner child so that I can help alleviate its nightmares and allow it to come out of this trauma phase, transition. It's like, you know, like a feral animal. So then we also have the halo down here going the other way. This is like, I'm about to level up. I'm going to open up my crown chakra. I'm getting my wings, right? I'm ascending to quote unquote heaven or whatever place you would ascend to, right? I'm getting that. I'm lighting up my third eye, my crown chakra, my throat chakra. My head's glowing. So we have the Three of Wands. Okay, so we have fire energy with this halo here. And this is in a challenged position as well. So I have 3 wands and 5 wands here, right? So it's sort of like I'm reducing the number of things that are challenging me by 2. Three of Wands, the Sun in Aries. Okay? So I'm taking... where the hell was that? Martian energy. Martian. Taking this Martian energy, going to the root of it, right? 3 is the root of 9. It was like the future is always plaguing me. I can't see where I'm going. It's causing me to be a little bit headstrong. Like that ram energy of like, gotta go faster, right? Because it's like if I don't, you know, put everything I've got into it, then it's not going to happen for me ever. But we're getting out of this completely like rawr, like ready to throw down into this. I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing for my future. Now, interestingly enough, the ram, we have these 2 horns coming out, which is often indicative of that crown kind of energy. And then we have a crown here as well, or at least a halo. Halo, is it me you're looking for? But also, let's like try opening up, right? Because the 3 is like an infinite loop, but it's opening up. I'm opening up my options by listening to my inner self and my higher self when I put the effort into not giving up on myself. Alright, so let's look at this future overall purpose here. I can't believe all these sound things came out. And then the telephone! Are you kidding me? Insane. Okay, so this doesn't have any charms on it. We have... there it is, the 6 of Cups inverted. So in the future, we're still in this same energy, but we don't have to worry about the nightmares. And we say, okay, the past is in the past. I'm good. Like, I might. And I see this idea of 12. Of, like, sort of canceling out these waveforms. It's like, I don't need to dwell on my past anymore going forward because I've resolved it. Okay. And then we have Stonehenge, at least, well, part of Stonehenge anyway. This is the best way I was able to figure out how to describe it. Which to me is this idea of, it's kind of like a portal as well. I always imagine it as these sort of druidic rituals where they would have a stone table in the center of the horseshoe inside the circle, then open up this portal like this into a higher dimension. In my own little fan fiction inside my head. Stonehenge fan fiction. So these were in the challenge position. I have the 4 of Cups and the 3 of Coins. I see 7 total, which tells me perhaps Chariot energy. 7 Cups is trying to get over these distractions in life. This stuff that's like building up and sort of coming for your attention, but is sort of waylaying you from what you really want. 7 Coins in a challenge position is like trying not to be impatient for things to grow in your life. You have this key to manifestation, but in the future we want to try to understand that the universe is in a place where it's trying to help push us along. Notice we go from 6 to 7 right here, which is bringing back to this transition number. So there's this idea that in the future we'll be transitioning to an even different place where we're able to work to make new plans that involve sort of divine alignment and not worrying about the 3, right? These are all having 3 at their base. Not having to worry about the things that make us unhappy, right? I'm moving away from this bullshit. I'm no longer going to include stuff that doesn't make me happy or doesn't resonate with me in my plans. Now, because these cards are smaller and sideways, some of these charms fell off of the thing. So I've got this top hat here. It kind of reminds me of one of the top hat token in Monopoly. I'm not quite sure what I want from this yet. Oh, I didn't look at the energies. Hold on. Let's move these for a second. 3 of Coins. Okay, Mars and Capricorn. So we're still dealing with this Mars energy of having this fire and trying to expand it. I'm trying to expand my core energy and let my true self work its way out to every fiber of my being. And I don't see it come out here. Is it over here? Let me spread these out a little bit. There's a charm that I want to reference, and I think it's still in the box. Let me see if I can find it. Where is my little guy? My teeny little super guy. I wish I could remember how that song went. Stonehenge goes here. Now, what's interesting is that Stonehenge was built in a few different layers, right? There was, I think they dug the mound, the henge, and then they put the blue stones in, and then they put the trilithons in after, and there was a few different phases. It all have to do with different energy frequencies and signatures and the mathematics of the geometry of the different sizes of the circles. Okay. So part of this energy of new plans, of working on new plans, is going through these different personal phases, much like you would with Stonehenge until you get the finished product. Nope, that's the wrong one. Here it is. Okay, so the like when I said vines, like for that Mars energy, it'd be a lot like this little thing right here, where we have this neural or nervous system network running throughout the whole body, this expansion of the signals, right? Because the nervous system is electrical signals, which is what we get with the radio and all these other things. Actually, I'm going to keep him out. I'm going to put him in Stonehenge. This is Fort Kickass. You can't come in here. Okay, so we have the telephone here, right? Trying to dial up my energy. And then kind of touching this next segment here in work, we have the water droplet. So this is emotional content as well. And it's something that's moving, right? Because if a water droplet was still, it would just be a sphere. We have this like gravitation, right? And gravitation has to do with like the shape of the geometry. Again, it has to do with like the curvature of space, kind of, I guess. I don't know. Like I don't have words to describe what it is right now, but there's weight to my emotions. Have weight, right? I'm not ignoring them. Still not quite sure what the top hat's doing here. But I have also here this rowboat. And I associate this a lot with this Six of Swords over here that's sailing away from the bullshit. The guy's like got the whatever that flatboat thing is called. I don't remember. I just read it too like a few months ago when I reread Blackwood Farm. They've got this flat thing with a pole. But I feel like this goes well with the water droplet. And then I have this tulip here, which could be representative of friendship, but also it reminds me of like in Holland in the 1600s, there was like a boom tulip market, and they was like really expensive, and then the market collapsed. And it... Oh, okay. Okay, so these do go together. Things that are fleeting, that are given too much value, right? Ooh, I'm fancy. But is that Four of Cups? Is that what's really going to make you happy? Well, no, being able to process and move through your emotions is what's going to help you set up this new blueprint for your energies, to open up that transition and allow your own energies to move throughout your whole body and work in alignment. Alright. And then also in the future here, so this mask, I'm not sure which one it is. It's kind of straddling these, so I'm gonna... I feel like... Well, see, I see the skull here, and I feel like I want to put the mask with the skull, but I because of the way it's aimed, I think I'm going to slide it over here. So it's either the sad one or the happy one, and I'm not sure yet, but I see this club here. Okay. So we do see the skull here, which represents, to me, can be death, right? Which is this card. But it also could be like the bare bones, right? Getting down to the bare bones of the situation. But I also have the hand with the ring. And I have, going the other way also, this coffee. A travel mug. Travel cup. Which is interesting. I just heard Wake the Dead. So now I have 9 of Cups inverted. So go from... Why is the 9 of Cups inverted? And why do I have the ring? If you like it, then you should have put a ring on it. which is falling on all the single ladies cup card. Or is it? No, it's the Nine of Pentacles that's all the single ladies. Interesting. Okay, so this is in a half nightmare position, which tells me that it goes with this card. And it brings in that moon energy again. I'm just going through that song in my head. It doesn't seem to have much lyrics. I mean, this idea of like if it was an actual coffee mug, there would be a ring in the coffee mug after you drank the coffee. And this idea of, you know, this coffee is so good it could raise the dead. Oh, why is that hand there? What's the Nine of Cups energy here? Okay, I see why it's inverted. So we have Jupiter in Pisces. Sagittarius energy combined with Pisces energy. We have Jupiter and Neptune energy. I don't know if Jupiter is in retrograde or if it's going retrograde. But Neptune, I think, is still currently retrograde. I might get a clarifier card for that. That seems weird. I mean, I do see it as related to the 6 here, and I see these 2 3s here. And I see this other 9. 3, 6, 9. Like repeating, like this sort of like principal universal energy pattern, which is part of what Stonehenge is as well. 3, 6, 9, the goose drank wine, the monkey chewed tobacco on the streetcar line. The line broke and the monkey went choke and they all went to heaven in a little rowboat. Okay, so here's the rowboat. But that song also makes me think that they're going to hell, which essentially is the devil card, which is Capricorn energy. So they all went to heaven in a little rowboat. Okay, so we have death, heaven, boat. But why the ring? I want to clarify that. That's weird. And why the coffee? Clarify 9 of Cups and the ring and the coffee. I mean, it could be a chai. We don't know. It could be a hot chocolate. Could be a macchiato or whatever. I don't give a shit. I don't drink coffee, so whatever. It doesn't matter to me. And one that actually falls out, not one that gets stuck to my hand. Oh. This is... It's stuck to my hand. This is going back to that whole thing I was talking about Smeagol. With the ring. Ring. Give me a ring. Give me a ring on the phone. So please clarify 9 of Cups inverted and actually give me a card and not just shit falling off of the pile. Clarify. Okay, that one's on the floor, so I guess we're going to take that. The world. Okay. Saturn energy. 9 of Cups. 3 and 9. We're getting into that 3-9 again. 3 symbols. 9. And then 3 again. What's the difference between 9 and 21? 12. Doesn't make any sense. Okay, so we have the Moon and the King of Cups. So we're dealing with a 1 or a 14. Here's the Moon, which shows, like, if these are half nightmare, I said moon energy. And then the King of Cups Libra and Scorpio energy. This is like a little murder mystery here. Because I feel like this Nine of Cups goes with the number 3. But I have 4 cups here, but there's 3 cups in here that are unsatisfying. And it's almost like the 3 that we don't want in the future are somehow spawning off this like multiplication, and now we have 9 cups that we don't want. Oh. 6 and 3 is 9. Okay, so not only am I leaving the past in the past, but I'm moving away in the future from considering things that I don't want. Oh. Which is leading to this emotional balance. 14, the King, which is 5, which is a pivot. Also could be a 1. And the Moon is saying, I've been through my darkness and I understand it, right? I understand the past and what I don't want now. The secrets are at hand, and now I'm waking up to this concept that this transformation is so that I don't have to keep doing this. So I have the Moon 18 breaks down to 9, which is 3, which is plus the world breaking down to 3 gives me 12, which is the difference between the 9 and the world, which was that is like Hanged Man. When the Hanged Man wakes up, he's like rising from the dead with the coffee. And then shifting into this emotional stability. Okay. It was a little convoluted. Alright. So this is a look at what's happening in September for the overall life purpose for Capricorn. With this Saturn energy about to go direct, which is going to help Capricorn kind of work on establishing this connection to the past in a way that they're not constantly reliving traumas, that they're saying they're healing from the nightmare, moving away from it, and saying I don't have to constantly be in the past, whether it's happy or unhappy. And in the future, I won't have to keep picking things that are unsatisfying, and I can create this new environment for myself where I'm more connected to myself and not swayed by things that other people say are important but turn out later to be, not worth shitting in your hat. Okay. Ooh, is that chicken? What is this? Oh! Okay. This is like the 6 of Pentacles. This is a hand with a coin giving it to someone who has gloves that are raggedy on the end that doesn't have one, right? My hand is bigger and I have a fancier glove and I've got rings on my fingers because I can give stuff away. So we go from the 6 of Cups inverted to the 6 of Swords, and then 6 of Pentacles energy of I'm balanced enough that I can give to others. And then we have a ruler here. Is kind of giving me this idea of like King of Pentacles energy. Like a ruler that can magnanimously give to others. But what have you got here? So we have the 2 of Crystals. Okay. So this is a little bit lower vibration than the 6 of Pentacles. This is the 2 of Pentacles here. But we're trying to be balanced. We have this yin-yang back here, and then we have a crystal spike, and then a geode. So we have a masculine energy, we have a feminine energy, we have someone who's trying to become balanced. Now what's interesting enough is that the Six of Pentacles is like a masculine energy with their heart center open. We see that in the future of the overall with this King of Cups. And this figure here, it looks like kind of like the King of Cups practicing over here with this. But this is in the past. Two of Crystals, Two of Pentacles, it's Jupiter in Capricorn, right? So this is Capricorn trying to harness this Sagittarius energy. Could be the nodal energy, because we've been Sagittarius South Node for a couple months here. Right? I'm getting this, like, I'm trying to put my core energy, I'm trying to send it out somewhere, but I don't know where to put it. And here it's like, well, if you're incrementally getting more in tune with yourself, this energy can help you figure out where to put your energy, where to put your resources. Okay, what is this? Okay, these go together. Now, also in the past here, this is work. This is what you're trying to do, right? I'm trying to figure something out. This double here. Oh, and the record player, too. Jesus Christ. Four of Orbs, 10 of Orbs. So notice we have 14 here. It goes back to this number here, which may as well be Temperance. So we have all swords here. We had quite a bit of swords here, too. We had 15 swords here, and now we have 14 swords in a little line here. And then 16, the Tower again. Okay. Four of Swords energy is that waking up energy. It's like waking the dead. It's like 13 breaking down to 4. Okay, so I'm transitioning, but I'm also trying to do, like, going within, right? You can't see me. I'm within. I'm in my shadow. Four of Swords. Jupiter in Libra. Okay, so we're dealing with that Sagittarian energy again. 10 of Swords. The Sun in Gemini. So we have North Node, South Node. We have a Sun inverted, Moon energy, darkness going within. Again, this is the stick a fork in me, I'm done. This is let me release all this pain and trauma by getting this inner focus. We have this idea of 3 things coming away and 1 thing that's really seated in our, like, deep within ourselves here, right? This higher purpose thing, but also in our own root as well. And to go with these 2 cards, I have these charms. Charming! So the first thing I see is this walking, like, also on a crosswalk, but just in terms, just the act of walking. We're going somewhere, right? I'm gaining some traction now. I have some illumination, right? The candelabra. And then I have this record player here, which goes in with all these other things about listening. But it's also this idea of I'm addressing the broken record, right? I'm addressing the shadow. I'm addressing the ego. I'm shining light on it. I'm like, hey, this record's scratched. Now that I take a closer look, what the hell, man? I gotta go to the store and get a new record or find some of that stuff that smooths them out. So I have these 2 charms going the other way. So I have the squirrel and I have the owl. Oh! Are you fucking kidding me? Okay. The squirrel and the owl. What is this? So one of Beatrix Potter's books that she wrote was called The Tale of Squirrel Nutkin. And he was like kind of a little bastard, and he was annoying this owl until at such point the owl went to snatch him and managed to nip off part of his tail. Now, I don't remember the rest of the book because I haven't seen it in a long time. And I don't know if he was actively trying to store things up or not. But there's this idea that, you know, it is kind of like a feral animal. It's like if you back it into a corner, it's going to attack you. If you poke the bear long enough and it tries to eat your hand, like, what are you really doing? What's really going on there? When I kind of get this is like the Ten of Swords as well, right? It's like you're only going to take so much being stabbed in the back before you just kind of unleash a can of whoop ass. Right? It's like, I'm sick of this broken record of being taunted by you. I'm going to actively take a bite out of you. Which is to say, in terms of what's going on here, I'm going to actively, right? Active aerobically do something to eradicate this shadow, this ego that keeps needling me and being like, hey, you look pretty stupid in those glasses. You look fat in those feathers. What are you doing? Sleeping during the day? What the hell is that? You know, that kind of stuff. So it's just that constant, like, needling aggravation, right? Like the wrong kind of acupuncture, and it's saying, I'm gonna throw some light on this, but I'm gonna take an action. I'm gonna move along. Pause this. Okay, so this other card here in what Capricorn's working on in the past. The Lovers and the Six of Chalices. Wow. So this is the third time Six of Cups. This time it's upright. So in the past and work, we're trying to heal any unresolved thing. So we have 6 and 6. I have 12. It gives me Hangman energy. But it's upright, so it gives me this Knight energy, Knight of Cups. Interesting. Gemini energy. Sun in Scorpio energy. Wow. Healing, choice, transformation. I choose to take from the past what I need for healing. Well, I might be able to get some more clarity. So I have the dragon. So this goes to that sun energy. Right? A fire elemental. But I also have going the other way this club here, which to me is a little bit Ace of Wands. So I just heard this, like, licking on an ice cream cone kind of energy. I don't think I have an ice cream cone. I should make one of those too. Oh, shit. This is the most ideas of more charms to make that I've had at once, like since I was cutting out the first batch. And then, okay, so we do have the sad face going the other way. It was the sad face. This one hasn't come out for me. I got in the happy face like 3 or 4 times. Okay. So these were going the other way, right? So things that smack at me and hurt me and make me sad. I don't have to take with me, right? I'm taking from my past what is part of my core and healing it. I'm letting the Kundalini energy rise up through my chakras and being able to blow out this internal fire. Like, don't these look like smoke coming up out of this sun here? It looks to me like this, even though it's only 12. It looks to me like it's giving this same energy. Right? I'm transitioning out of my childhood by giving love to my inner child. Right? So we have the Gemini, right? The twins, right? Being my shadow. My shadow is in my childhood, and I'm choosing to heal that. Or I've made a choice in the past that that's where the issue is. This also is sort of like this idea of dragon slaying as well. Like, I'm going to tame the beast. But I don't really see dragons as negative entities, probably because I wanted to be a paleontologist when I was little, and I associate dinosaurs and dragons as being the same thing. But what's interesting is that if you think about dinosaurs, you think of the past, which is what this Six of Chalices is relating to, the Six of Cups. And these charms being turned away also indicates to me a little bit of the past. Right? What is this? A false mask of sadness, right? The ego thriving on sadness. My true core being isn't to be sad all the time. That's the ego. My true core of my being is to be like rawr, like rrr, like I'm so much in my own power that I'm neither overconfident nor do I feel insecure. Okay. On the guitar too. What the fuck? Alright, so in the present, in terms of work, we have the Eight of Cups inverted. Okay. Saturn and Pisces. Both retrograde right now. Getting rid of emotional stuff that we no longer need. And then over here... Oh, I think this is the... Oh, okay, I think I know what that charm is. Now we have the Eight of Wands in reverse. So we have this tower here. This 16. Now, generally, you usually want to move forward, but it's like we're not moving forward until these are balanced, right? I'm not gonna go full speed ahead, like until I've gotten rid of this emotional garbage. Now, on top of this Eight of Wands inverted, I have this lovely little thing here, which is I cannot brain today. I have the dumb. Right? You're just like, I can't, I'm stuck in these blinds. Right? With the eyeball that came out before I started this reading, right? I have made a grave error. Like, I need to backtrack a little bit. I need to untangle myself from these machinations, whatever. So I have this battery, right? I need to recharge a little bit. I love this so much. This is my favorite thing. And the tetrahedron, right? I need to recharge my batteries. I need to build up the strongest foundation possible. Tetrahedron is the strongest possible physical structure that exists. And then I have this guitar, right? It's like I need to find my rhythm a little bit. Rhythm guitar and mouth organ. Oh, I should do a harmonica. Okay, what's down here? Okay, now we have a 3. 8 and 3, 11. And 8, 19, the sun. And I was going to say, if they have the king can be a 1 or a 14, I have the moon, and the king here tells me sun energy with illumination down here as well, which I forgot about. But we have the 3 of Pentacles again. Now it's upright. So in the present, in the work, we're trying to do this restructure. we need to, oh, battery and electric guitar. Right? I can't communicate yet because I can't find the power cord for my power cords. I need to get the water off of the floor and dry out the electronics. And then on top of the 3 here, I have the crystal ball. I can see clearly now. No, what's interesting is I had the 3 of Wands crosswise in the present in the overall, but there's this 3 of Cups. It's like I can see the plans clearly now, even if the future is a little bit obscured. That was profound. Okay, so over here in the future of work, 4 of Coins inverted. Okay. Is this the Sun in Capricorn? Yes, it is. Inverted, it's the Moon in Capricorn, though. But I think this is just telling me Saturn retrograde. This is also, in my music deck, The World Is Not Enough. But I also have this idea, it's like hoarding. Right? What do you need to let go of? What do you need to hang on to? It's a very physical approach to this idea of the 4 of Cups. Right? And it comes on the future of, right next to this, of like letting go of the emotions that you don't need. And then back here, 2 of Crystals, trying to figure out what's going on. Now notice we have a 4 times 2 is 8, and it's sort of like the past and the future are culminating in the present right now. But what's interesting is that dropping out is this emotions instead of a manifestation, right? I manifest in the future by addressing emotional things I don't want. I'll actually be able to manifest in a more productive way. And then I have, going this other way, I have this thermometer, right? Let me gauge the situation before I decide if I want it. You know, it's like, which do I want? Ooh, hot, cold, hot, cold. This one's feeling right over here, right? It's like Goldilocks. Home invasion story here, right? This is too hot, this is too cold, this is just right. So we don't want the stuff that's, you know, you don't want your Tostitos frozen you can't eat them right out of the box from the freezer. But if you put them in the microwave, they will boil your mouth off. So here we are trying to find this happy medium. Okay. And then we also have the 9 of Wands. Okay. 9 of Wands energy. Aha! The Moon in Sagittarius. So we're dealing with this darkness aspect again in relation to the Sagittarius node energy. And this is usually the, like, I'm waiting around for a long time, right? And this is happening in the future too, right? It's like, I've gone through all this time, like, oh my god, am I there yet? Like, I've been standing here on the charger for like 6 weeks. Can I go yet? Can we get there? Now I also have this trowel here with this 9 of Wands, which is my alternate Ace of Swords. It's like, it's a spade, right? The Ace of Spades. The Ace of Spades! And essentially the same as this, but with a sort of earth aspect if we need to go deeper. So essentially these two is giving the same information as this Knight with these two. And I don't feel like we're waiting around forever. It's not like, oh, even though you've been on this journey so long, you still need to go deeper. It's like, once you hit the darkest depths of what's stopping you from moving forward, then you'll know that you're your work is done, essentially. I mean, it's never really done, but it's like this certain aspect of the transition. You know, once you dig to a certain level and you hit that bedrock, then you know. I really don't want Weird Al's Bedrock Anthem slapping around my head right now. And we also have Queen of Wands with Temperance. Interesting. 9. Okay, so I was thinking of 10 here, because if this is an ace, then I would have 10. And a queen can be a 1 or a 13. So I see 1 wand, 9 wands, 10 wands. This is that, it's too much, I can't. And then we would have this idea of Temperance inverted, 14 out of balance. What's interesting is that if this is a 13 and this is a 1, then I end up with sort of like -1 energy. I'm not sure why that's coming in like that in the future, but I do see this idea of a 13 being as, it's like another transition is needed, another death cycle, because I see 9 like, are we there yet? Well, you need to, there's going to be another transition in the future before this balance is fully achieved. Because I see 18 with these 2 inverted cards, which tells me the moon energy again. 13 and 9. Breaks down to 22, which is still 4, which is still the same. Or if this is 13, it breaks down to 4, which is 9, and 4 is still 13. So there's this idea that in order to establish another new foundation to be able to move forward in the future, that this work is really progressing, but there's going to be a final transition of this core energy. And then going the other way, I have this champagne here, which to me relates to 2 of Cups, but not necessarily. And then this sea turtle, which is this idea of I need to go deeper before I can celebrate, which is essentially what this trowel might be indicating as well. Alright, so in the terms of relationships, of how we're doing things, in the past, we have the 3 of Cups inverted. Why do I keep getting like the same 2 goddamn cards? I guess I haven't gotten exactly the 3 of Cups yet. But again, this is like in the past we couldn't celebrate yet. 3 of Cups, Mercury and Cancer. So Mercury rules Gemini, so I'm getting this Gemini flipped over energy, but also Moon inverted tells me Sun. So it could be Sun Gemini, but it also could be, what's the other one? Virgo? Where is it? Yeah. So it's just like somewhere between like May and now, in the past, right, in the last few months, the last few months, there's been no cause for revelry, right? It's just like, whatever. These are the 3 cups from the 4 of Cups that we don't want. What is this shit? What the fuck, man? Alright, I'm gonna keep this with these cards. And then the Star and the Master of Flames. Okay, so I have the King of Cups upright. I have the Queen of Wands upright in the future. Both of these in the future. But in the past, we have the King of Wands, the Master of Flames inverted, and the Star inverted as well. So we're maligned as well as out of balance with our core, right? We're out of alignment with our core. We need to focus on who we really are. Now, 17 breaks down to 8, which is either strength or justice. A king is a 1 or a 14, which breaks down to 5. So this tells me 8 and 5, 13. It's going back to the exact same position in the overall, and we're describing this transition energy as needing to happen in terms of how we're doing things. Right? What are we doing? We're sort of not really hopeful, and we're not really healing when we're out of alignment with our core being. 9 inverted, the Hermit, Virgo energy, not going within. And again, leading up, we get this concept of Virgo energy, which we've just hit. And there's an important, and again, I've gotten this in other readings too, there's something really important about the way Virgo energy is interacting with the nodes and the retrogrades right now. Oh, and the symbols. So, not going within, I have this elephant with its eye closed, and this third eye symbol, which got stuck in part of the box when I was shuffling out earlier. Now, the elephant to me represents kind of copied from the Wild Unknown Spirit Animal deck. There's an elephant that represents from the base of the trunk all the way up to his little third eye, the chakra system, right? So his trunk is on fire at the end, and then it goes up into his third eye, and then the ears fan out, and we have the spine with the brain stem, and then the 2 lobes. So this is that union of the left brain and the right brain, and this activation of the third eye, which kind of sits where, like, in sort of in line with where the corpus callosum. I forgot to check my segment. So I was saying that the third eye sits kind of in line with where the corpus callosum is in the body, where the 2 halves of the brain join, and you have that dark and light aspect, male and female and everything. When the 2 halves come together, your whole perception expands. So the chips that were going the other way, I have this doors of perception, and this seed of life, where it's like when you go within, you open yourself up to see the bigger structure of the universe. The other things that were going the wrong way, the other way, the necklace and the bowl of sugar. And I had said when I tried to record this a few minutes ago and my camera had shut off, that I have a hard time with the necklace. I don't always connect with it, except for maybe the clasp here. And then I was like, holy crap, the mermaid. So in the Disney Little Mermaid movie, Ursula's deal with Ariel is such that Ariel's voice is taken and put in the seashell on Ursula's necklace. And then she goes to cheat Ariel by becoming Vanessa and trying to steal Eric away from her. And she's got the voice there. And the difference is that this is like a recording in here, right? The shell. It only plays the one song that Ariel sang when she put it in the necklace. So every time she plays it, it's like a playback on the radio. It's only the one song. It's the broken record. I was like, bitch, don't you know any other songs? Like, something's a little off here. You know, or Ursula's pretending to be sweet sugar, but she's kind of a bitch. You know, it's also this idea of sort of revealing things that other people think are important. This 4 of Cups, things that don't really make you happy, but you're having a hard time letting go of them because it on the surface level it seems sparkly and sweet and enticing, but there's something just wrong with it. And even so, if you eat too much sugar, it's like, ooh, sugar, that's yummy. But if you eat the whole bowl, you're gonna feel like shit. So this idea of overcoming these sort of pitfalls that have tripped you up in the past and expanding your view of what's going on in the world is going to help with this going within part that needs to happen in how you're relating to things. We have the 7 of Crystals in the challenge position. I mentioned this over here. Seven of Pentacles in a challenged position is trying to overcome this idea of being impatient while things are manifesting. It's like everything sucks. I'm out of alignment with myself. I want to go within. But I'm going to do it once for like 15 minutes while I'm thinking about this other shit. And if it doesn't work, I'm going to get pissed off and, you know, knock over the whole game of Monopoly. So there's a tower in this particular card. So the Seven of Pentacles energy is Saturn in Taurus. Now Taurus relates to Venus, which relates to the Empress energy as well, and also the Hierophant. Hierophant is those universal download energy as well. Taurus. Isn't there... I believe Uranus has gone retrograde in Taurus. But this card is telling me that Saturn is going to be turning out of retrograde. This is telling me the past, though. So it's kind of indicating an impatience in the last, like, week. In regard. So in the present, the Queen of Wands again. This is the same card. So we're going through this transformative cycle into stepping into our own core energy. Now over here, the charms that are closest, even though they fell on the table, I have this high-heeled shoe going the other way, and then this Kundalini snake, which is also like a waveform, like a frequency. Right? It's just, I feel like this shoe is like the Queen's shoe, and the fire energy is giving me this energy, which I just think is kind of funny. But it's also kind of like this, these are sort of similar energies. Like the trunk is like the snake. And then we have this idea of, like, what am I listening to? I only want to listen to something that actually has a good form to it. I don't want to listen to something that's, you know, been jacked up so that it's louder than necessary to make up for the fact that the quality's worse. Right? These aren't real Jimmy Choos. This is some fake-ass bullshit. These aren't Louboutins. These are something from Walmart that somebody spray painted red on the bottom. Is that even showing the cards that I'm pulling right now? No. I'm gonna shift it up so at least you can see me touching them. It's just like all the charms over here. So in the present for the relationship kind of thing. So we have the Six of Cups inverted. This card's popping out all over the place. And then we have the Two of Swords. Two of Swords is like a low vibration high priestess. So we're trying to gain a different perspective on our past, right? I'm seeing it from both sides now. I'm seeing it, okay, yes, childhood, woohoo, and now I'm seeing it, oh, okay, I see what had happened. So we have Eight of Cups, and then Eight of Swords, right? Letting go of the crap, the emotions that are making us feel shitty. Eight of Swords, getting out of that mental prison. I want to break free. It's my Eight of Cups. Oh, I think my Eight of Cups song is Life Story by Barbara Streisand. Your life story began with somebody else. Find your glory out there with somebody else. I'll be where you find me. I'll be somebody else, right? So it's sort of like finding yourself. Two of Swords. The Moon in Libra. So we're balancing the darkness. And then it's Scorpionic Sun energy. So again, I see Moon, I see balance, and then I see inverted sun moon energy, again with the scorpionic death energy. So we have moon, moon, mooning over you. Alright. So this is supposed to be a wolf, but sometimes I see it as Coyote, the trickster. Although if we have the moon twice, then it's probably the wolf. Howling at the moon. There's a Kansas song, I don't remember which one it is. I think it's on Left Overture, where the lyric is like, you're only howling at the moon. Or it's only howling at the moon. So then I have this wheel here. I'm waiting for this loud thing to go by. And this sort of like Dharma wheel, but also like the wheel of the constellations. But it could also be the chariot, but it could also just be the wheel, which is Sagittarius energy because of Jupiter and fire. So again, sort of this idea of the nodal energy, but also perhaps the chariot with the moon again. And then also upright, I have this tea cup, this cup of tea. Right, something's brewing. Oh, wow. Okay, so going the other way, I have the magic hat here, right? Definitely something brewing. Behind the scenes. And then I have this t-shirt. And I feel like this is meant to be on the t-shirt. We're wearing a t-shirt that says Railroad Crossing. What the hell does that even mean? I just drew the train on there behind the crossing because to make it explicit that it was a railroad crossing sign. It's not to say no trains. Okay. So this is a crosswalk, right? You're walking across the road. And now a train track crossing on the road is like... This is like a shirt that says, I break for moose. Or something like that. But it's like... It's like saying, this train doesn't stop. Or like, get in, losers, we're going, no stopping. I'm getting in my music deck, the Chariot card is a Crazy Train, Ozzy. And the picture I put on it is the meme of the train on fire that says, choo choo, motherfucker. So it's like something's brewing, and this engine is like we're cooking with, like, this train is not stopping. You will have to park your car on the tracks and wait for all this shit to go by. Now, I don't know how that associates in any way with the wolf other than this idea of transformation because of the werewolf, right? It's sort of like the moon energy is sort of transforming you into this core being of your primal self. And then also I had a card that I made. I had like an artist trading card that I made like 14 years ago, and it said Werewolves of London on it, and I had a werewolf wearing a Rolling Stones t-shirt, and I had another one wearing a t-shirt which is interesting because this is a cross. It was wearing the Union Jack, the British flag, so this is like part of that. So I'm getting also a little bit of like Werewolves of London. Whatever that means for anybody. Okay, so I have a knight down here. So I gotta get another card. The only problem with this Uno deck is that it's so old it doesn't shuffle well. But the cards aren't totally falling apart yet. So 2 of Wands, kind of in a challenge position. Okay. So I feel like this is a Knight of Wands who is really like ready to go out there and do it, and has been training with 2 swords, getting a little bit of like Ninja Turtle Leonardo, because he's got the swords, and he's wearing blue as well. And again, there's this idea of transformation, right? Because you have the they had come in contact with Splinter, who was part human, and they were 4 turtles, and then the ooze was nearby, so they turned into Ninja Turtles. And for some reason, Splinter didn't turn into a turtle, but there was like a rat nearby him, and he was human, and he turned into this like human and rat thing. So you also have this idea of being between 2 different worlds or elements, with the mermaid and Capricorn itself, Ninja Turtles, and the werewolf. I'm going to get Knight of Wands here, and I decided that this was Knight of Wands over here because there was a tower energy. Interesting. 16 divided... There's like 16... Where is that? Am I in the... There's a 16 up here, you can barely see, with this idea of wands, and then diagonally 8 divided by 8, 2. So it's like we're reducing the amount of stuff in that's preventing us from moving forward and operating with both halves of our brain, right? Because left brain controls right hand, right brain controls left hand. We're getting those swords moving around, which is sort of it's what am I trying to say? It's like a physical example of the work that's being done mentally. So in the future, for this relationship kind of a thing, there's the 2 of Cups. Where the hell was the champagne glasses? What the fuck were they? Alright, so here's the 2 of Cups. So we're taking these 2s and coming in with this, you know, and this is coming up in the relationship sector, so it could be, you know, you're finally going to be ready to be with somebody else. We also have Venus in Cancer, and there was the Hierophant energy coming from Taurus over here, which is related to Venus as well. And then there was some Libra energy, which is also Venus. So instead of having everything... And this also tells me balanced movement, because Cancer is also the Chariot. We're moving forward with both wheels. We're balanced. And this is also the low vibration of the Lovers. So there's this idea of emotional healing really gaining traction. 6 of Swords. Again, sailing away from the bullshit. This is the same as this card over here. Mercury in Aquarius. New methods of communicating. And we're coming in with the 2, which is a low vibe of the Lovers, which is a 6. And then we have another 6, but with the truth attached to it. So emotions, truth. And in the challenge position, we have the 4 of Wands. So in the future, there's, at least in terms of September, there's going to be a little bit of a challenge to get into this foundation. And they have this kangaroo here, this buff kangaroo is like ready to fight, right? It's like, what am I'm struggling, but I'm willing to fight for this new foundation that I'm building for myself. I have 6 and 10, that's 6 and 4, that's 10. That's a completion. And the 2 more here, it does give me Hangman energy, but it also gives me the Knight energy, this Knight of Wands here. It's saying I'm trying to wake up. I'm doing this work now that's starting to put me where I need to be. There's it's almost like a little bit of resistance or a little bit of a blockage. And I feel like this has to do with that South Node Sagittarius, because Australia's down under. Four of Wands. Venus in Aries. Interesting. So we have Venus in Aries and Venus in Cancer. Aries and Cancer. The Emperor. Let me think about this for a second. Two of Wands. Okay, then Mars in Aries. Venus in Aries. Okay. So we're making a choice to move forward into being ourselves, to open up this emotional expansion, and to move forward with how we really know what it is. And here it's like I'm still struggling a little bit to weigh my decisions, but I'm almost there. Like I'm waiting for a little bit more divine guidance, which is fine. You don't have to do everything like immediately. So the future holds, again, there's like in terms of the work, you have another transition to go through. So the way in which you're doing it, it's like, how am I doing it? I'm trying to balance my emotions, and this like work here is heavily dependent on fire energy. My thing ran out of time again on me. I wasn't paying attention. So it's saying that the work here is heavily dependent on fire energy, but the way that the work is going to get done is okay, I'm going to be thinking about my emotions and working on it from an emotional place. So when I make a choice, it's, you know, it's not just coming from the like, I got to get stuff done, you know, because until you work through these other aspects, this fire is just going to be out of control, and your battery and your core, your battery is just going to keep getting drained, and you're going to be there like staring into space like, I cannot brain today, I have the dumb, because you're so fried that you can't think clearly and process your emotions. So this is indicative that there's a lot going on. Capricorn has a lot of opportunity to move through this series of emotional overhauls over the next month, and the ability to sort of start tipping this Four of Wands into the upward position. Okay, so if you want to get a reading, a personal reading, you can hit me up. Let me move this for a second. Is this? Oh, I wasn't tightening it, I was loosening it more. Okay. Alright, so if you want to get a personal reading, nope. Is that? I feel like that could be closer. Okay, so if you want to get a personal reading, I'm gonna get this till it's fucking right. There. You can hit me up, thecatcamebackatcamp@gmail.com. I have a list of readings and how much they cost in the description box of my infomercial video, which I will try to post the link below here in the little description box here on Patreon. If you want to further contribute to my work, you can donate paypal.me/CATtheMinion. I also have Cash App and Venmo. I've got actual art items for sale in my catalog, and you should be able to see the post for that and the link to the PDF and the downloadable version on here. I also have merch and prints and coloring books and stuff. So all that information I'll have linked also with the other stuff. And if you can't find it, you can just email me and I'll email you all that anyway. So stay groovy and we'll see you later. Bye.